Good morning. It's March 14th. I believe that's Pi Day. Yep, it's a Friday, so it's a weigh-in day. I was 286.8 last Friday. Today, okay, 286. So I lost 0.8, almost a pound. Wish it was more, but it's still in the right direction. I don't know. I think it's important to remember with a weight loss, your body goes through different stages of losing weight. Maybe I lost a lot of water weight last week. But, yep, it's a loss. 286. Good morning. This is breakfast today. I made myself another pork shoulder steak and 2 eggs. So I just got back from a walk. I did 5 laps around the block, which is about 2 miles. So, not bad. I feel a little dizzy for some reason. I'm not too sure why. I just drank a bunch of water. But, yeah, I'll be fine. So I just ran out to Walmart and picked up a few things, and I thought I would show you my haul. I typically don't buy meat from Walmart, but someone told me to try it again, so I'm trying it again. I got grass-fed ground beef, 85% lean, 15% fat. These were like $6 and change each, like 18 something total. Green bell pepper, red, orange bell peppers. These Parmesan crisps are only $3 a pack, which I thought those were pretty cheap. Got 3 of those. I might throw these in my taco salad if I remember. I got some organic, pesticide-free green leaf lettuce, a bag of avocados, which were probably more expensive than Publix. They were like almost $7. I think Publix was $5.99 recently. Got some jalapenos. I got macadamia nuts. I'm not a fan of the Great Valley macadamia nuts, but I have an idea of sprucing these up a little bit. Gonna roll these probably in avocado oil and then put some other seasonings on it and rebake it. So I've never tried that before, but I'll see how that comes out. There's another brand, I forget the name. I think it's like Malibu or something, and it's it's onion and I don't know if it was sour cream and onion maybe. But I read the ingredients and it's just so, so full of different ingredients, xanthan gums and processed junk. Whereas this surprisingly is basic macadamia nuts and sea salt, and that's it. 2 things of eggs, which were about $10 each. Got some more Cholula hot sauce, a big bottle of it. Sour cream for the taco salad. I've been craving peanut butter, so I got almond butter. This was the only natural kind, dry roasted almonds. Not a fan of the plastic container, but it is what it is. Got more Chosen Foods mayo, and I don't know, I'm kind of craving olives, so I thought I'd put olives on my taco salad when I make it sometime tomorrow. And that's all I got. Doesn't feel like a lot, but this came to a total of $103.65. So, I was going to say something else, but now I forget. I don't know. I'll think of it. So I just remembered I wanted to get more canned chicken, but I forgot that. I need to look at the ingredients on that also, just to make sure it's only chicken and no other preservatives. What else was I was wanting to get? Something else. I've been thinking about that avocado mayo is obviously pretty expensive. It's like $7. I think at Walmart it was $7, and Publix it's $8. I've made mayonnaise in the past, and it actually came out really good. But for some reason, I don't make it for myself. I don't know why. It's pretty easy to do. You just, I think once I used my full-size blender, but you can also do it in like a personal size. I've got a personal size cup, like 16-ounce blender cup. So it's really easy to do, so I just need to do it. The recipe I have is, like I said, really good. I use the Dijon mustard in it, and also it calls for white wine vinegar, but I like red wine more. Um, and the way it comes out, it's just a little tangy and it's delicious. So I need to motivate myself to make that stuff since I like using mayonnaise. Um, and also dressings. I've never experimented making my own salad dressing. I think Donnie wants to go outside. But it seems like it's pretty easy. And of course, you would use avocado oil as the base. So I want to experiment with that too. I don't want to use the dry ripeness seasoning because that's ultra processed. So I have to find some recipes to make it fresh. Um, so that's one thing I want to do. Oh, I forget what else I was going to say. I got the almond. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but the almond butter I got to put on celery since I was craving peanut butter. That's what I got. I think maybe tomorrow I'll mess with these macadamia nuts. I have to do some work in the morning tomorrow. Luckily, not that early in the morning, around 9 a.m. Man, I was going to say something else, but I still forget. Oh, about my cravings today. So you see that I only had today the one meal for breakfast, the pork shoulder steak and 2 eggs, and I wasn't. Actually, I'm trying to think. I wasn't hungry. I was looking at the clock, and I knew it was coming up on 2, but I wasn't that hungry. So I'm like, well, if I'm not hungry, let's see how long I can go without needing. Well, I wasn't thinking about how long I could go. I was just wondering if maybe I wouldn't be hungry later on. So I didn't eat anything else before 2 because I wasn't hungry. But I think it was around 3 maybe. I started to get some hunger pangs, and I looked at the clock and realized it was around 3, and I really don't want to break the intermittent fast window. So that's why I'm trying my best to not eat anything. I have to say it's hard. So I'm not. I don't think I'll do this all the time. I think I just need to, even though I'm not hungry before 2, I think I still need to eat something at 2 so I don't feel this way. Like, I wouldn't say extremely hungry, but hungry enough to where I keep thinking about snacking on stuff. So I need to make sure I eat breakfast at the correct time around 8, and then do my last meal like right before 2. So I need to make sure I do that better. I was watching a video today. It's actually one that I posted on the community tab. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes long. I know it's a long one, but if you're wanting to lose weight, if you have regardless of how much you have to lose, it's still a really good video. It basically, this doctor, I forget his name now, but he just kind of reiterates everything I believe about weight loss. He talks about how weight loss is all about the controlling your insulin levels. He talks about how insulin is the hormone that tells your body to store fat. They actually did a test where, and I forget what he is now, some sort of scientist, I think, but he might have students, so it might be a teacher, I don't know. They're doing a test in like a petri dish full of fat cells, and I don't know how this test actually works because I don't know too much about science, but the fat cells were in like glucose and fat, and the fat cell wouldn't absorb any of those calories. That's what he basically said. They wouldn't absorb it until they introduced insulin. When they introduced insulin, then they saw the fat cells expand. So he talks about how losing fat. My arm's getting tired. Slip this in my cabinet handle. He talks about how losing weight isn't all about calories, which I've said in the past. He says when you're in ketosis is when your body, of course, is using fat as its main source of energy. And he also mentioned that the brain it likes to run off of ketones. I know a lot of people will tell you that the brain functions primarily off of glucose for energy, but the brain loves fat. So ketones is like the optimal form of energy for the brain. Um, but what was he saying about the ketones? My brain's not working right now. I'm going to pause it. Yeah, so about the ketones, he was talking about when you're in a state of ketosis, excuse me, if you have excess calories, like if you're eating too many calories, the body will release it through urine or your breath. When you're in a state of ketosis, your body will actually get rid of calories through your breath in ketones. So that's why he says if you're eating more calories than your body needs, more calories than your body can store in the fat cells, your body's going to release that. So it's just releasing this excess energy, calories. I know the whole theory of thermodynamics? I don't know. The whole theory of burning calories, like calories in versus calories out. Like your body has to burn the calories that you ingest. But he's saying if you have too many calories, your body will clear it out of your system. So, and I think I've heard that before. It's just I forget all of these things. Like I'll probably forget this time around also. But it's interesting to watch, and to me, it makes sense. Um, so I suggest you watch it. And if you don't want to, it's up to you. I just, like, I know from my way of growing up, and I mean, this isn't a knock to how my parents or anything like that, but, they just fed me what was available at that time growing up in like the 80s, 90s. I think that's kind of when all the processed food, all these chemicals really started to be introduced into our diet. Um, so a lot of people just don't really know how to eat healthy. And even if they do know, they're still addicted to those chemicals and preservatives and the food that's engineered to make us want to eat more. So it's a hard cycle to break. This doctor also said there's no carbohydrate that we actually depend on for life. There's no, I forget the term he used, critical complex carbohydrate that we need. Like we only need fats and protein, and that's how our body actually functions optimally with fats and protein. He mentioned some other things, of course. I knew sleep's very important. I made a list of, I called it my diet list. It's a way of life that I want to try to get better into. And that includes sleeping better. And just the way that he explained it actually made more sense because when he said when you lack sleep, your body is stressed. And when your body is stressed, it releases, there was two hormones, one cortisol and then the other I forget the name of. But he said the job of insulin isn't just to remove glucose from your blood. It actually has many other functions of removing other hormones from, I guess, your blood. And he said one of those being cortisol. So if you're stressed, your body has to increase the amount of insulin to remove that hormone of cortisol. So stress and the other hormone and glucose all makes your body raise insulin levels. So that's why he said sleep's important. It's where you don't stress your body. And I know like the other day when I didn't get enough sleep, I went to bed late, then I woke up super early. Like I just felt like trash. Like my head, like nothing was functioning. Like nothing was functioning. That's how I felt. So I don't know if that was from the cortisol or from my insulin spiking. I'm not too sure, but I just think that's pretty interesting. What else? I don't think he mentioned this, but I forget how I read it. Oh, I think I was just chatting with X's AI Grok, and it was saying that maybe he didn't mention, maybe the doctor did mention cinnamon, of using cinnamon, but I read on Grok also that cinnamon can help regulate insulin levels. So I went on Amazon. Grok AI suggested a type of cinnamon. I forget the name now. If you Google it, you can find it. It's like Ceylon. I think it's Ceylon, I think. Um, I don't know exactly why that type of cinnamon is a better type of cinnamon, but supposedly it is. So I bought 2 shakers of it from Amazon. They were, I think they were like $6 a piece. So I'll get those tomorrow. I was talking to Grok and said that cinnamon pairs well with fat. So I don't know how that's gonna taste, but it said to sprinkle some on eggs and on avocado. So I'm like, okay, those are 2 things I've been eating. So I'm gonna try it out and see. I think it'll be good on avocado, salt and cinnamon. I think that'd be good. The eggs, I'm not too sure about. Probably won't be that. I'm sure it'll be edible, but I don't know if it'll really help the flavor much. I don't know. I'm interested to try it, so we'll see how that goes. But then, of course, also Grok suggested apple cider vinegar before a meal. I said before a meal. I don't want to take apple cider vinegar before every meal. Thinking maybe I'll, which in the past I was doing pretty good at taking apple cider vinegar, and then I stopped doing it. But apple cider vinegar helps regulate. I think it maybe not regulate, but it helps lessen the insulin spike, I believe. So it's good for that. So I might start trying to take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in some water. See if that helps. What else? As far as the notes I took, I can't think of anything else. But I don't know. I know that today's weigh-in wasn't what I wanted to see. I wanted to see another couple of pounds like I did last week. But at the same time, I realized that every weigh-in is not going to be a 3-pound loss. I know that there's something called the fat whoosh. That if you've done keto for a while, you've probably heard of Ask Nurse Cindy. And if not, she's a nurse that was on Facebook years ago. And she had a lot of good information when I first started keto. So I don't know if she came up with this term or what, but fat whoosh is when the fat cells replace fat, or I think they store triglycerides. I'm not sure. But what's one, it replaces whatever it's containing with water, and then suddenly you release all that water. So it's like sometimes your weight may not change, and then other times you'll get a significant weight loss, and it could be due to that. So basically, I try not to get too bummed out when I don't see the scale. I mean, the scale still moved down, 0.8 pounds, almost a pound. But I don't know, I can't. I want to track my weight, obviously, but at the same time, I can't get too focused on the weight. I just have to continue eating well. I know the way I'm eating. I'm doing my best to cut out the ultra processed foods. I know there's nothing good about that. I don't even feel good after eating like flour or oats. So I want to cut that out, regardless of the weight loss benefits. Just health wise, I know it's not good. So I know what I'm doing is good. I just have to be patient. I think I just have to find patience and realize that what I'm doing is going to work. I just have to be patient, and the weight loss will occur gradually, you know. So I feel like I'm doing what's right, but I just have to find more patience. That's all. There was something also about the doctor also, of course, suggested working out to build muscle. Like lately, I've been walking a lot, which I don't plan on stopping. But he just kind of reminded me that I do need to build muscle because muscle is what can absorb glucose in your body. It's like when insulin removes the glucose, it wants to, from your blood, it wants to store it in muscle. So if you have more muscle to absorb that, it just goes into your muscle rather than turn to fat, I think. So it's important to build muscle. I don't know why I just feel, I don't know, not motivated at all to try to build muscle. I shouldn't say to build muscle. I don't feel motivated to go to the gym and try to work on building muscle. I think because I just question myself so much. Like I don't feel confident in knowing exactly how to build muscle. I mean, as far as building it, you have to break the muscle down with the weight exercise, and then it heals and grows larger. But as far as diet goes, I know like bodybuilders, they have specific diets, but I shouldn't worry about that either since I'm not. I mean, it would be nice to bulk up the muscles, but that's not my main priority. And also, that doctor said, the interviewer, it's on, if you've ever heard of the podcast Diary of a CEO, that guy was asking why, when he did a keto diet, why it looked like his muscles reduced down in size. And the doctor, of course, wasn't sure without running some tests, I guess, but he suggested that maybe he wasn't hydrated enough, and also maybe he wasn't eating enough fat. Because like once your body, and the interviewer, he was, pretty in shape. So he didn't have a lot of fat on his body. But he said like if you don't have any more fat to burn or very little fat to burn, your body will start going to muscle, the protein, and that's one reason. So he suggested if you're doing a keto diet, a way around that is to make sure you're eating more fat. Your body needs, I guess, more energy rather than going to its muscle stores. So I thought that was interesting. There was also, I keep thinking of things as I'm talking, then I'm forgetting what I'm thinking. There was something else of what that guy mentioned. I don't know now. But I think, I don't know, I think you should go watch that video. It was really good. Watch the video or let it play as you do something throughout the day, and let me know what you think of it. It's very interesting. And like I said, if you have a significant amount of weight to lose, like I feel like this is the hack. Like I wish I could go back 20 years in time and like tell myself, this is how you lose weight. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Just eat natural foods, unprocessed foods, cut down on the sugars, and get good sleep, build some muscle. That's how you do it. I mean, it seems simple. Anyway, I was trying to think of what I was going to say, but I can't remember now. I don't know what I need to do. Write this stuff down as I think of it. But I don't think that would even help. Anyway. I need to go take a shower and shave. This doesn't look too great. And I was thinking about watching a movie, but I need to clean dishes instead. I need to put some stuff away too. So I think I'll do that stuff, and probably at that point I'll go to sleep. So after the work I do tomorrow morning, I'm planning to meet someone from the film group, and we're just going to discuss the script, discuss a shot list, discuss a storyboard. I think it'd be good just to work with someone, because I was working on that the other night and just felt overwhelmed by it. So I'm hoping working with him will help me a little bit. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's all I got for now. All right, so I knew they would come back to me, although they didn't really come back to me. I looked at my list, that diet list that I was talking about, and I realized that I made some notes that reminded me of what I wanted to say. The first one is he was talking about a lot of people think if you intermittently fast, you're starving yourself. They'll say, oh, you're starving yourself. You're on a starvation diet. And just, I don't know, this makes sense to me. He said, when you have excess fat that you need to lose and you stop eating, that's called fasting because your body isn't in starvation mode, it's in fat burning mode. He said, what is starvation mode is when you no longer have fat and your body has to start breaking down muscle and breaking down itself for energy. That's starvation mode. So I think if you're overweight, you really don't have to worry about starving yourself. You got plenty of fat to burn. And then the other thing, be right back. So the other thing is he was talking about the way that the whole, this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about earlier as far as the whole theory of calories in versus calories out. Basically, when you're eating calories in versus calories out, when you're tracking everything, you're you're reducing your food intake, and you're also usually when someone like goes on a crash diet, they'll start counting calories and want to work out. Which working out's fine, but you'll do some sort of exercise. So like if you ask someone how do you lose weight, it's well restrict calories and exercise. That's how you lose weight. Then if you think about, imagine being invited to, like, I don't know, a meal at someone's house or around Thanksgiving. You know that you're going to have a large meal, like, and I've done this myself prior to Thanksgiving dinner. I won't have, either I'll skip breakfast or I'll have like maybe an egg or two to just kind of satisfy that hunger pang. But when you know that you're going to eat and you want to save your appetite, you want to be hungry, what do? You cut down on how much you eat, and you also could exercise. If you go walk around the block to build hunger, that's going to work. So if you want to be hungry, cut down on the food you're eating and you exercise. Whereas some people think losing weight is going to be easy by cutting down calories and exercising. It's like that's how you build hunger. So it's like you're trying to lose weight, but at the same time, you're kind of defeating yourself. You're making yourself hungrier. Um, so I've never thought of it that way, but that makes sense to me. It's like if you're trying to lose weight, why are you torturing yourself by also making yourself more hungry? And I feel I'm just comparing like that way of dieting, counting calories and exercising, make yourself hungry. Um, I think the problem with that, at least for me, is knowing that you can eat supposedly anything when you're counting calories. Um, so for me, I struggle with that because once I start eating something, especially if it's carb, then I just start craving more. As opposed to intermittent fasting, like today, I got myself a window of when I could eat, and I only ate one meal, so I am hungry right now. But I'm limiting it to a window. So tomorrow, I haven't been counting my calories, and tomorrow I'm not going to count my calories. But depending on how hungry I am in the morning, I'm going to stay low carb still, but I'm going to eat what I want until I feel satisfied. And I'm going to do my best to have that second meal before 2 p.m. tomorrow also. Um, So I think it's easier when you allow yourself to eat until you feel satisfied and then cut off the eating time. And just if you have hunger pangs still, you can adjust it by eating more the next day or eating at different times during that window. So I feel like it's less stressful on you, um, not having to count calories. You just eat until you're satisfied. Eat as much low carb, unprocessed food as you want, and still lose weight. I know I've mentioned this in the past, but when I reduce my weight a lot more, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. Maybe I think I would only try this when I hit my goal of like 200 pounds, of weighing 200 pounds. But I want to test of eating more calories than my body's burning in a day. So, like my body burns 2,000, try to eat 3,000 calories. And well, the thing is, it's still those calories are going to come from healthy foods like avocados or some sort of nut, some low carb healthy foods. And then I'm going to calculate how many excess calories I eat and how much weight I should technically gain from those calories and see what happens. Um, and surprisingly, there's not many people that have tried that. I know a couple of years ago I looked it up on YouTube and there was someone who tried it. And I forget the results. I don't think he gained anything. He like stayed the same weight. But I want to do it for myself because I'd like to just test that theory for myself. Um, anyways, I think I'm done now talking about that. I'm gonna go take my shower.